Dear friends and viewers, Swagatam. Welcome to KNS Biochemistry. In this video session, I am going to talk you on proteomics. One of the area of the proteomics is protein-protein interaction analysis, that is PPI, protein-protein interaction analysis, that is done by a Y2H system. So that is the topic of the day, protein interaction analysis by Y2H. Let us start the session now.
So what is this Y2H? It is nothing but yeast 2 hybrid system. So Y stands for yeast, 2 hybrid system is 2H system. So this 2 hybrid system, that is yeast 2 hybrid system Y2H, abbreviated as Y2H, is now called as 2 hybrid screening. The other name for Y2H is 2 hybrid screening. The old name was Y2H. So this Y2H is a molecular biology technique used to discover protein-protein interactions, that is PPIs, protein-protein interactions, and protein-DNA interactions by testing for physical interactions such as binding of a protein with another protein, binding of a protein with a DNA, okay, that kind of physical interactions between the two proteins, or a single protein with another nucleic acid, that is a DNA molecule respectively. So a 2 hybrid screening is something to study about interaction of a protein with protein or a protein with a DNA. Previously it is called yeast 2 hybrid system Y2H. Now it is called 2 hybrid screening method. So coming to the history of this Y2H, Stanley Fields and Oak Q Song in 1989, they introduced this technique. The technique was originally designed to detect protein-protein interactions, that is PPIs, using the GAL4 transcriptional activator. GAL4 is a transcriptional activator present in the yeast. The common yeast, the Baker's yeast, called Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So this GAL4 protein activated transcription of a gene in this yeast, involved in, that gene is involved in galactose utilization, which formed the basis of selection. So for this yeast GAL4 protein only, this particular Y2H method was introduced by these two people. Since then, the same principle has been adopted to describe many alternative methods, including some that detect protein DNA interactions or DNA interactions, as well as methods that use different host organisms like Escherichia coli, E. coli, or mammalian cells instead of yeast. So at the beginning it was done only in Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but later on the same principle, same method was extended to other host organisms like E. coli and mammalian cells. Mammalian cells developed in the laboratory, there are cell lines. So what are all the host organisms used here in this Y2H method? The host organisms in which only Y2H method is done. So although theoretically any living cell might be used as the background for this 2 hybrid analysis, that Y2H analysis, you need a background living cell. There are practical considerations that dictate which is chosen, which is best organism, most organism for this method. The chosen cell line should be relatively very cheap and easy to culture or easy to handle in the laboratory, and sufficiently robust to withstand application of the investigative methods and reagents. So why you are selecting a particular cell for this method? It should be very easily available, easy to culture, all this convenience would be there. Then it has to withstand all the applications. Whatever reagents you are using, methods you are using, it has to accept it. So that kind of host organisms are ideal for this method. The latter is especially important for doing high throughput studies. So you see that after doing that, you can go for further studies with high throughput studies, that is computer based software studies. Therefore, that is why the yeast, the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that has been the main host organism for these Y2H studies, because yeast is convenient for all these purposes. However, it is not always the ideal system to study interacting proteins from other organisms. Interacting proteins from other organisms, for that this yeast is sometimes it is not ideal. So we have to go for other than yeast host organisms. So these yeast cells often do not have the same post-translational modifications, and they have a different codon use, or they lack certain proteins that are important for the correct expression of the proteins. So all these problems are there in yeast. So to overcome all these problems, to cope up with these problems, several novel 2 hybrid systems have been developed other than yeast. So depending on the system used, agar plates or specific growth medium is used to grow the cells and allow selection for interaction. The most common used method is the agar plating method. So on the agar plate you can culture the cells very well. So that method is most commonly used. This is the agar plate methoding. So this agar plating one, where cells are plated on selective medium, that is culture medium, to see of interaction takes place, whether interaction takes place properly or not with that medium. So cells that have no interaction proteins should not survive on this selective medium. So you are going to select such a medium to develop these cells. Then only Y2H analysis will be done. So our yeast, the Baker's yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that was the first model organism for this method. First model organism used during these 2 hybrid techniques, that is commonly known as a Y2H system. It has several characteristics that make it a robust organism to host the interaction, including the ability to form tertiary protein structures, neutral internal pH, enhanced ability to form disulfide bonds, and reduced state glutathione, among other cytosolic buffer factors, to maintain a hospitable internal environment. So all these factors should be maintained. The yeast model can be manipulated through non-molecular techniques, and its complete genome sequence is known. That is why yeast model is selected for the first time analysis. So yeast systems are tolerant of diverse culture conditions and harsh chemicals that could not be applied to mammalian tissue cultures. So that even sometimes if we are using some very hard chemicals and reagents, yeast will withstand it. But mammalian cells, tissue cultures cannot do that. So that is why yeast has got its own advantage. A number of yeast strains, they have been created specially for this particular Y2H analysis, that is Y2H screening. These strains are then the strains of the yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. One is Y187, the other one is AH109. Both the strains produced by Clontech company. Clontech company, they have developed these yeast strains for Y2H analysis. Yeast strain like R2H MET and BK100, they have also been developed. They are also used for this Y2H analysis. So this yeast 2 hybrid system, it is used for protein-protein interaction studies. Already we have seen it is used for protein-protein interaction or protein-DNA interaction or DNA-DNA interaction. Here we are going to see how is this Y2H system yeast It is used for protein-protein interaction analysis or interaction studies. We are going to see some examples. So yeast 2 hybrid system uses a reporter gene. So this system is having a reporter gene. That gene is having some function. So a reporter gene to detect the interaction of pair of proteins inside the yeast cell nucleus. So in the yeast 2 hybrid system, the interaction of target protein to the protein, next protein, will bring together transcriptional activator. Transcriptional activators all will come together when one protein interacts with the second protein, which then that transcriptional activator will then switches on. Only when the transcriptional activators are activated, it will switch on the expression of a gene. So here the gene is the reporter gene. So the transcription of reporter gene starts only these transcriptional activators are activated. For that, protein-protein interaction is needed. So here you can see that yeast 2 hybrid system used. This is the yeast 2 hybrid system used. This is the yeast cell, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and you see that in order to activate this Y2H study, that is in order to activate the DNA, you have to take 2 set of proteins. I said the 2 proteins are needed. 2 proteins and they have to interact. First protein is their left hand side, bait protein. It is called BAIT, bait protein. What is there in this bait protein? It is having 2 subunits. One is a DNA binding domain protein. Second protein is target protein, the blue color one. So the green color one is DNA binding domain. It will bind with the yeast DNA. Here you can see the inside, when it enters inside the yeast cell, it will bind with the yeast DNA, this portion. So this is a DNA binding domain protein. The other one is, the blue color one is a target protein. So this protein interacts with the second protein. What is the second protein here? First protein is bait protein. Second protein is prey, P-R-E-Y. It is called prey. So second protein is the prey protein. It is also having 2 subunits. One is binding partner, the violet color one. Second one is the green colored one. It is called transcriptional activation domain. It will activate the transcriptional activators. So this is a green color one. It is a domain. So these 2 proteins, that is bait protein with the two complexes, prey protein with the 2 complexes, both are interacting with each other. Protein-protein interaction takes place. That is the recombinant genes encoding bait and prey protein introduced into the yeast cell. When they interact and this complex enters inside the yeast cell. In the yeast cell, the bait protein, this DNA binding domain will bind with the DNA. This is the entire DNA of the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It binds with this region of the DNA. Which region? Transcriptional activator binding site, where it binds. This is target protein. It binds with the second protein, the binding partner of the second protein, the violet color one. So what will happen? Protein-protein binding happens. Interaction takes place. PPI takes place. Once this PPI is formed, once this bait protein domain binds with the transcriptional activator binding site, you'll get a signal here, a captured prey signal. This signal activates this transcriptional activator region. So once it is activated, the reporter gene, this is the reporter gene. The yellow color one is the reporter gene. Reporter gene will start transcription. Only these transcriptional activators are activated by this protein-protein complex. So now this reporter gene transcription starts. Transcription of reporter gene. So once a reporter gene is transcribed, you will get a protein. That is the protein which is transcribed from a reporter gene is called reporter protein. So that protein will be formed. And now we see that we are going to study the behavior of this protein inside the yeast cell. So this is Y2H analysis. So the DNA sequence that encodes a target protein is fused with the DNA that encodes the DNA binding domain of the gene activator protein using recombinant DNA technology. That is what it is happening inside the yeast cell, inside the nucleus of the yeast. And then the two sets of proteins used in Y2H. What are all the two sets of protein used? I explained in the diagram itself. See that one protein is called bait protein, which is having two subunits. Another protein is called prey unit, that is also having two subunits. What is this bait protein? This bait protein is a target protein. Target protein is fused to a DNA binding domain that localizes it to the regulatory region of your receptor, to regulatory region of your reporter gene as bait. That is why it is binding with the DNA region. Prey is another protein, specially designed protein in the cell nucleus. That is, it's called a prey. It is developed in the cell nucleus. Bait protein can bind to the regulatory region of the reporter gene, which acts as a bait and can be used to fish out the protein that interact with the target protein inside yeast cell. The interaction of bait protein and prey protein will bring about the activation and expression or transcription of reporter gene. The reporter gene is the one which will help the yeast cell grow on selective medium. So many potential binding partners can be prepared by ligating DNA encoding the activation domain of the gene activator protein to a large mixture of DNA fragments from a cDNA library. So what is happening there in the diagram, that is explained here. So Y2H assay. So the premise behind the test is activation of downstream reporter gene. That is, a downstream reporter gene is the activator, transcriptional activator proteins. So those should be first activated by this protein-protein interaction. They are called downstream reporter genes by the binding of a transcription factor onto an upstream activating sequence. That is, upstream is UAS. So downstream reporter gene should be activated by transcription factor. Once it is activated, upstream activating sequence will be activated. For two hybrid screening, that is for this Y2H assay, the transcription factor is split into two separate fragments called the DNA binding domain. That is, one fragment is called DNA binding domain DBD, or it is often abbreviated as BD. DBD is called BD, and another one is activating domain AD. So first one is BD, second one is AD. BD is the domain responsible for binding to this upstream UAS, upstream activating sequence, and AD is the domain responsible for activation of the transcription process of the reporter gene. So the Y2H is thus a protein fragment complementation assay technique, because two proteins are split into two fragments. After that, only two fragments go separately and binds with reporter gene sequence, and reporter gene is transcribed. So it is this Y2H is a protein fragment complementation assay method. If the bait and prey proteins interact, that is protein-protein PPI happens, then that AD portion and BD portion of the transcription factor are indirectly connected, bringing the AD in proximity to the transcription start site, and transcription of reporter genes can occur. So AD comes to that transcription start site when AD and BD binds. After that, only reporter gene transcription starts. If these two proteins do not interact, that is, two proteins do not interact, there is no transcription of the reporter gene. The transcription of the reporter gene will not happen unless these two proteins are interacting. In this way, a successful interaction between the fused protein is linked to a change in the cell phenotype. And you can see that diagrammatic steps involved in two hybrid assay. What are all the conditions during which reporter gene is transcribed? What are all the conditions in which reporter gene is not transcribed? That you can see. See that first one A, diagram A, it is having a bait protein, GAL4 BD, GAL4 AD, two fragments are there, BD and AD. When these two interact with each other, a complex will be formed that will go and bind here. Where is it binding? See that upstream UAS region. GAL4 AD, this is one fragment, GAL4 BD is another fragment. Both are interacting. And this complex bind with this UAS sequence. So once this happens, regular transcription of the reporter gene happens. So that reporter gene is here, LAC-Z. This is the reporter gene. So when this complex is properly formed, reporter gene transcription starts regularly. Another condition, you see that here GAL4 BD is binding, but AD is not there. See that this pink color is not here, rose color is not here. Only bait protein is there instead of that. Now this is not the correct complex to activate the reporter gene. So now when this problem happens, when bait protein comes in place of GAL4 AD portion fragment, then one fusion protein only, that is GAL4 BD alone is there, AD is not there. So now reporter gene will not be transcribed, no transcription at all. In another condition, GAL4 AD is there, this fragment is there, but BD is missing, but prey protein comes there. One fusion protein only here also, but it is AD here and plus prey protein. In this situation also, no transcription, no reporter gene is transcribed. And here you see that this is another situation where GAL4 BD bind with bait, GAL4 AD attached with prey, both are interacting. That is two protein interaction takes place. So two fusion proteins with interacting bait and prey. Now you see that protein interaction is there, at the same time two fragments are also interacting. Two fragments are definitely there. So definitely transcription will start. Reporter gene will be transcribed. So this is the overall view of two hybrid assay, checking for interaction between two proteins, that is the proteins like bait and prey. So depending on the interaction only, whether the reporter gene is going to be transcribed or not, that will be decided. So if you see this overview of two hybrid assay, the interaction between two proteins called the bait protein and prey protein, that diagram A, what I explained is here. GAL4 transcription factor gene produces a two-domain protein BD and AD binding, essential for transcription. So reporter gene is transcribed. And picture B and C, two fusion proteins are prepared, but only one fragment is available, BD. So neither of them are usually sufficient to initiate transcription, no transcription at all. D, when both fusion proteins are available, they are binding with each other at the same time. Both the fragments are also binding with each other and they are available. So transcription occurs. Then this is what is something about Y2H assay. We have seen Y2H assay, how it is happening, what is the role of bait protein and prey protein, what is the role of AD fragment and BD fragment, all these things. And other than that, E. coli, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, E. coli and mammalian cell cultures can also be used for Y2H assay. And here we are going to see some of the applications of Y2H assay. That is, how is it applied? Application part. Applications of Y2H assay. One application is called drug and poison discovery. Which is a correct drug, which is a poison. The difference between a drug and the difference between a poison. So how to find out which is a drug and which is poison? For that we are using this Y2H assay. Let us see how it is done. Protein signaling interactions pose suitable therapeutic targets due to their specificity and pervasiveness. The random drug discovery approach uses compound banks that comprise random chemical structures and requires a high throughput method to test these structures in their intended target. The cell selected for this kind of investigation can be specifically engineered to mirror the molecular aspect that the investigator intends to study and then used to identify new human or animal therapeutics or anti-pest agents. And another one is determination of protein function. For protein function determination also Y2H assay is used. By determination of the interaction partners of the unknown proteins, the possible functions of these new proteins may be inferred. This can be done using a single known protein against a library of unknown proteins, or conversely by selecting from a library of known proteins using a single protein of unknown function. For unknown protein and to determine the functions of the unknown protein also Y2H assay is used. Another application is zinc finger protein selection. To select the zinc finger protein, that is ZFPs, zinc finger proteins, ZFPs, for protein engineering, methods adapted from the two hybrid screening technique have been used with a successful manner. So a ZFP, that is this protein, is itself a DNA binding protein used in the construction of custom DNA binding domains that bind to a desired DNA sequence. So two hybrid screens are used here, low tech. They can be carried out in any lab without sophisticated equipment. Two hybrid screens can provide an important first hint for the identification of interaction parameter partners. The assay is scalable, which makes it possible to screen for interactions among many proteins. Again, it can be automated using bioinformatic softwares, and by using robots, many proteins can be screened against thousands of potentially interacting proteins in a relatively short time period. Two types of large screens are used: the library approach and the matrix approach. Library approach, the second one is matrix approach. So yeast to hybrid data can be of a similar quality to data generated by the alternative approach of co-affinity purification followed by mass spectrometry. So after analyzing this protein-protein interaction, you can go for further studies using co-affinity purification method, then followed by mass spectrometry, AP followed by MS. The main criticism applied to this method, Y2H method, is yeast two hybrid screen of protein-protein interactions, or the possibility of a high number of false positive. Sometimes false positive result or false negative results comes. The exact rate of false positive results is not known. The rate of false giving result is not known. But earlier estimates were as high as 70%. 70% sometimes false result came. This also partly explains the often found very small overlap in results when using a high throughput or two hybrid screening, especially when using different experimental systems. So that is why it is having some drawbacks, that Y2H method. The reason for this high error rate in Y2H assay lies in the characteristics of the screen. So following are the reasons for why this 70% error comes. Certain assay variants overexpress the fusion proteins, which may cause unnatural protein concentration that lead to unspecific positives, that is false positive result. The hybrid proteins are fusion proteins, that is the fused parts may inhibit certain interactions, especially if an interaction takes place at the N-terminus of a test protein, where the N-terminus region where the DNA binding or activation domain is typically attached. An interaction may not happen in yeast, the typical host organism for Y2H. For instance, if a bacterial protein is tested in yeast, it may lack a chaperone for proper folding that is only present in its bacterial host. Moreover, a mammalian protein is sometimes not correctly modified in yeast cell. Example, missing phosphorylation. Phosphorylation will not happen in the yeast cell. So which can also lead to false results. The Y2H takes place in the nucleus. In case of Y2H, which is happening in Saccharomyces cerevisiae. If test proteins are not localized to the nucleus, if they are not localized inside the nucleus, because they have other localization signals also. So two interacting proteins may be found to be non-interacting. Some proteins might specifically interact when they are co-expressed in the yeast, although in reality they are never present in the same cell at the same time. However, in most cases, it cannot be ruled out that such proteins are indeed expressed in certain cells or under certain circumstances. So each of these points alone can give rise to false results. So these are all the reasons because of that only false result. 70% false result comes in Y2H assay in yeast. Due to the combined effects of all error sources, yeast 2 hybrid analysis or the assay have to be interpreted with very carefully, very caution. The probability of generating false positive means that all interactions should be confirmed by a high confidence assay. For example, you can go for co-immunoprecipitation of the endogenous proteins, which is difficult for large scale protein interaction data.
Friends, in this video session, I have explained you about this 2 hybrid screening, otherwise called yeast 2 hybrid system, Y2H system, and I have explained about the functioning of this Y2H system, procedures involved in that, then applications of this 2 hybrid screening system. So hope you have understood the topic. With that, I am going to stop this session. I'll be coming back again with another session. Until then, it's bye from KNS Biochemistry. Thank you very much. Namaskar.